Good evening, Guardians. No Face here, and we are going to talk about something near and dear to my heart. And if by near and dear you mean things I absolutely hate, and that is random rolls. We're not actually going to talk about why I hate random rolls today, we're just going to talk about how they could be used to bring back weapon variety in a way that doesn't suck in Destiny 2. So what we're looking at here is my Destiny 1 character, because obviously we had to go back there for my random rolls. And as you can see, I'm a scrub and I don't actually send anything to my vault or even pick up things from my postmaster anymore, so I've got a lot of repeat weapons in my army. The one we're specifically looking at today is going to be the Warpath. So if we look at the Warpath, we can see I've got my two Warpaths. They have several perks that you may or may not like. The one I ended up getting I was actually really fond of, played with for a long time. Now let's take a look at the Warpath for a second. So if we look at the Warpath, we obviously have our standard perks of our different burns. We are mostly going to ignore those since those can be re-rolled obviously in Destiny 2, but let's take a look at all our different perks. As you can see, things are divided up in Destiny 1 in between our different columns. There are multiple perks per column and there are multiple possible perks per perk slot per column. Yeah, that sounds right, right? Again, if you want to make the argument that it was a little confusing, I can kind of go with that, but if you played at all very often, it wasn't that big of a deal to understand what perks did what. You just had to read occasionally, and as you can see, we go through this. There are 4 columns, and there are multiple perks per column. Now, let's go ahead and do some math. If we just take every perk in every slot and multiply them together, we can figure out how many possible combinations there are of the Warpath. So since the Warpath has a lot, oh wow, yeah, that's a lot of combinations. Nearly 4,000 combinations for the Warpath. Now, as I've said in the past, having this many combinations of a weapon is not a good thing because it doesn't respect your time as a player when you try and grind for things over and over only to have RNG screw you over and not give you the rolls that you need or want. So there's 2 basic ways that I think we can solve this. The first one is very simple and very easy, and that's to reduce the number of perks. If you're still going to have 4 columns for perks, why don't you reduce them down to about 2 perks, possible perks each? That way, it is feasibly possible for a human being in their lifetime to get all the variants of the weapon. It's still going to give us thousands of weapons, but it doesn't require me to spend my entire life grinding for a single roll on a single weapon. The second option that I suggest is a bit more confusing and a bit more complicated because it's going to take advantage of the infusion system which is already in the game. But the way that it'll work now, instead of just infusing the light level or power level into a weapon to get it higher, if you have 2 of the same weapon, as in my case I have 2 Warpaths, if I have 2 of those, I can go ahead and infuse them into each other and for a price select a perk or a perk or 2 to hang on to from one weapon into the other. So let's say I have a copy of the Warframe that has tracking rockets, and that's the most important perk to me, but I get another one that has confined launch or veneers or something else that I find is really important to me. When I infuse them, I can select what perk from each one I want to keep, so that when I infuse them, I have now progressed to a better rocket launcher. I don't have to wait for RNG to give me the perfect rocket launcher. I can choose which perks I want to keep, and I pay a price for them. Now, I'm not going to make any statements on the economy or what I think it should be. How much should it cost? 5 shards, 100 shards, 1,000 shards. If you want to make a whole new economy, go ahead and bring back glass needles, the same things that let you reroll exotics. If you want to do something like that and make a whole new currency, that's fine. One suggestion on the economy I will make is that I think when you select a perk that you are going to infuse into another weapon, once you have saved it, it is on that weapon permanently. Therefore, it's going to require you to actually really think about what you want to save, what you want to get rid of, and you're going to have to make some really serious choices that are going to stick with you. This is going to prevent us having our House of Wolves style just throw materials at stuff until it actually gives you the roll you want. Now we have a definitive way to pick out what we want, and it does make us make more difficult decisions. But I think having a system whereby random rolls will allow you to keep certain perks, move forward, progress, gradually make your weapon better, gradually make your weapon fit your playstyle instead of just some other playstyle, some random thing you're having to wait and hope for fits your playstyle. That, in my opinion, is the best way that we can take random rolls, that will increase the loot pool and have a sense of progression. Because in a game like this without progression, it just feels like slamming your head against the wall, feels like playing a slot machine, and yes, I understand some people enjoy that, but it's not my thing, and so I cannot suggest any other system than something that allows you to progress. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know why I'm wrong somewhere in the comments, or shoot me a message, or do whatever it is you're going to do. Gruff, this one is for you.